Hello, you're watching News.Markets. It's that time of year when philanthropic organisations go into overdrive because roughly a quarter of all charitable gifts are made in the final 6 weeks of any given year. The result of holiday spirit and perhaps too some year-end tax considerations. The 2015 Coutts $1 Million Donors Report tracked a total of $24.9 billion of donations worth $1 million or more. Corporate donations in the UK are at an all-time high, increasing by £200 million. In Hong Kong, the total value almost trebled. And in China, the value of $1 million donations jumped by a third. One mega gift there, worth $2.37 billion, accounted for two-thirds of the total amount given in China in 2014. Well, what can investors learn from transfers of private wealth in the quest for public good? Well, Maya Prabhu, Managing Director at the Coutts Institute, joins me now. Well, look, thanks ever so much for coming in. Now, first of all, explain about the report, who you talked to, what it means.
And how it all works. Well, we've been doing this report since 2008 in the UK, and in 2013 we added the international dimension. You mentioned some of the countries, Hong Kong, China, the Middle East, Russia. We've done Singapore, and this year we added South Africa. And the report looks at giving at the $1 million level. It's a sort of iconic amount, looking at individuals, foundations and corporations. And we're looking for trends to see how these givers give across different years. We don't get too hung up on the numbers though, because it all relies on secondary data and data that's in the public domain. And in some cultures, giving is very private and it may not be in the public domain. So
yeah. Let's talk about some of those trends. What are you seeing? What are the findings that have made you sit up and think, oh, I wasn't expecting that?
Well, I think the first thing is that it is very buoyant, and if I come to the UK, there has been a great increase in the number of donations, in the amounts given, and I think that sort of broadly reflects in the sort of 8 years that I've been looking at this report. It really reflects the state of the economy. So corporations give more when their bottom line is healthier. Individuals give more when they're able to crystallize, liquidity events, when they sell businesses. For example, that would be the largest source, and then they put the money into the foundation. So these are some of the sort of important trends that we see, and it's really exciting to see the UK blossoming in this way.
How much of it is to get a bit of a tax break?
So I've been working in the field of philanthropy now for well over 10 years, and of all the Coutts clients that I've advised, tax relief is really quite low down on the agenda.
Interesting.
It's almost a sort of icing on the cake. The real reasons that people give, I think faith is really important, which is why you see people giving a lot around Christmas time, because giving charity is an important part of many faiths. Another reason is family philanthropy. So where you have a self-made entrepreneur and they're thinking about their children inheriting that wealth potentially, or they decide not to give them any at all and to give it to charity, philanthropy is a really important part of that conversation around the meaning and purpose of their wealth.
And who are they donating this money to?
So this year, the highest proportion of donations went to foundations. And that's because the money's gone into a foundation for people to give over the next several years. It's over the wall. It's
so let somebody else make the decision about where it's going to go.
No, or they will want to direct that in their own lifetimes. So that is a big trend, which is people want to give while they live, and then it can continue with their children as they think about the meaning and purpose of their wealth. The second highest recipient was higher education in the UK, and interestingly, around the world, that is probably the highest recipient as a general trend. And that's quite interesting because higher education, so universities, that is, do many things. Of course, you can provide scholarships to help people have access to really top education. And the other thing is that they do research into quite intractable problems. So what are solutions to poverty? What are solutions to climate change? And things like that. So people feel that by funding that, they're funding innovation for the future and really trying to find solutions.
So it's interesting, you see different trends across different regions, across different countries, also across different sectors. But it does sound like these $1 million donors want to leave a bit of a legacy. Well, Maya Prabhu from Coutts Institute, thanks ever so much.
Thank you very much.